go after guys that are already taken. If a man is taken and a woman sees that, he is 10 times more attractive than he already was, which is so sad. It really is.
It's so sad. You think that makes no sense. What is she talking about? Why would women be attracted to a man who's not available? Are you saying that if you presented a woman with two men, one was single and available and the other one was in a committed relationship, she'd be more attracted to the man who's in a relationship? Yeah. It's exactly what I'm saying, and I've got data to prove it. At Oklahoma University, they did a study called Who's Chasing Whom? The Impact of Gender and Relationship Status on Mate Poaching. They told 97 college women that they had matched with a man who had the same interests as them. They showed all the women the exact same image. They told them that he had the same hobbies and values that they did. The only difference is that they told half of the women that he was single and half of the women that he was in a relationship. Reading directly from the study, single women were more interested in poaching an attached man rather than pursuing a single man. Interestingly, this indicates that single women are more interested in pursuing a man that is less available to them. So as you can see here on the graph, men overall are showing a lot more interest than women because men are thirsty as all hell. You know, they just want a chance to get their rocks off. So yeah, she's single, she's in a relationship, doesn't matter. Men are showing interest. But if you look here, look at the massive difference in interest level based on whether or not the man and the image they were shown says that he was single or if he's in a relationship. You know, right there, are they interested in pursuing this man who's single? It's tiny, tiny amount of interest. And then look at how much interest there is if this same man, mind you, same image, same interests, hobbies, all that stuff. The only difference is he's in a relationship, and look how much his attractiveness level spikes. That is absolutely insane, that difference. Now, the principle that you're seeing play out here is called pre-selection. What is pre-selection? I'm going to let this woman explain.
Personally, for me as a woman, I had poor choices in men when I was younger. I only chose to date the men that every woman wanted. Whether it may be because he had swag, he looked cool, he dressed nice, he looked nice, he smelled nice, everything that was superficial. Not understanding that if all women want him, then I'm going to have some competition. And there's a high possibility that I'm going to get cheated on. Now, when I spoke about my brother who is not a cheater, when I was younger, I would have never dated a guy like him. Because I would have looked at him as lame or boring or too religious, too godly. Not understanding that he just had integrity, self-control, and great character. But it really showed how poor my decision-making skills were when it came to dealing with men. So my only tip for ladies is to be open-minded so you can choose somebody that you need and not who you want.
Women want men that other women want. Why? Because other women want him. Lots of people listening to me right now are not going to understand what I'm talking about. And I get that. It's difficult as a man to really understand this because it's so different the way that women approach this and the way that men approach this. Like as a man, if you see a woman and you think she's cute, she's smart, she's funny, she's sexy, and you find that no other men are interested in her, you know, they're all chasing some other woman, you think, awesome, no competition for this girl, just easier for me. Great news. It's like a cause for celebration if you find somebody that everybody else has overlooked. I had a Hey Hero request last week about a guy who'd fallen for a very beautiful but very shy girl that no other man was interested in. But he liked her, and that's all that matters. The idea of passing that woman by simply because no other men were paying attention to her, that doesn't even cross the minds of men. That makes no sense to us, but you have to understand that's a symptom of our masculinity. We don't think the same way that women do. We're hardwired for independence. We're going to back our own judgment. I like her. I don't care what other men think. Evolution pushed men to be risk takers, to go out on our own, to trust our own judgment, to be leaders. But women are wired differently. For them, it's a lot more risky to be independent. To trust their own judgment and ignore the opinions of others means to risk isolation from the social group. That's what men will never truly understand, just how strong that instinct, that pressure that women feel at all times to remain cognizant of the feelings, and the thoughts, and the opinions of the group. You know, they're constantly thinking about their relationship to the other women. They don't want to do anything that's going to risk alienation. They don't want to act in a way that doesn't conform to the group's expectations. And that fear, that desire to be in sync with their sisters, that influences everything. What music do I like? Well, what do all my friends like? What clothes clothes should I wear? Well, what are all my friends wearing? What man do I find attractive? Well, who do my friends think is hot? Yeah, even when it comes to mate choice, women are checking in to make sure that they're not going to risk isolation from the group. They want to know what other women think. There was another study called Human Mate Choice Copying is Domain General Social Learning. And in this study, they got women to go through this process, which you can see here, where they were rating the attractiveness of male faces, and then they would show them what rating the man got from all of the other women, and then ask them to re-rate his face. So you can see how it works here. In this first part here, she rated him this level of attractiveness. Then they show him what other women rated him in terms of how attractive he was. And then in the re-rating, she changes her mind to be in line with the group. At least that's a theory that they were testing. They wanted to see if women would change their ratings based on, this pressure to socially conform. And their hypothesis was absolutely correct. Let me read from the study. We found that social information did indeed affect participants' final rating of images of faces. For every point that the social information differed from their own rating, participants adjusted their rating by 0.13 points towards the social information. In other words, on average, a participant changed from their initial rating around 13% of the way towards the social rating when rating the attractiveness of faces. It's the same man, it's the same image, the same face. But women are changing their perspective on how attractive he is simply based on what all the other women are saying. So what's going on here? Do women actually know what they like? Or are they just empty-headed robots that just follow the crowd and do what everyone else is doing? It's easy to be judgmental, especially as a man if you have, courage in your own convictions and you follow your own judgments. But if you stop and think for a moment, you can realize that this phenomenon of pre-selection, of checking in with a group, actually would have served a very important evolutionary purpose for women. It's not an accident. We don't develop these instincts by random chance. That's not how evolution works. It's here, and it's here for a reason. You understand, from a woman's point of view, dating can be quite dangerous. She's going to spend all this alone time with men who are thirsty and desperate and, physically a lot stronger than she is. She doesn't know these men yet. They could be abusive, they could be liars, they could be manipulative who just, say anything to get laid. They could even be low-quality losers deep down, but just with like a slick appearance. It takes time to be able to figure this stuff out. But when it comes to risking being with like a liar or someone who could be physical or sexually aggressive, that's a luxury she doesn't have. She can't just, let's just wait and see what happens. No, the consequences are too dire. Evolutionarily speaking, mate choice for women is a really high stakes game, because if she sleeps with the wrong man and gets impregnated by him, if she's chosen the wrong dude, he might not stick around and actually provide. Or if she was hoodwinked about his quality, then she's stuck with this loser's genes and her children. That's not what she wants. So what do you do as a woman if you want to avoid being tricked by one of these men? It's not always easy to tell at first glance which men are actually high quality and which are just, smooth talking scumbags. So do you see how when the risk is high for women, why it makes sense to defer to the opinions of other women as a way of vetting? In a sense, women can't really afford to ignore the opinions of other women. And from that point of view, the first study makes a lot more sense. Of course, a man who's already in a relationship is going to be more attractive. At the very least, he's proven to have enough quality as a man to be in a committed relationship. Another woman has vouched for him. Mr. Single Guy, he might be available, he might have a lot in common with you, but he's an unknown quantity. It's unpredictable, it's risky. If lots of women desire a particular man, then it's kind of a signal to a woman like, yeah, this guy is somebody who we've vetted and who we believe is safe, is high quality. And so if she has like a little gem of attraction, once she finds out that everybody else is also attracted to him, she's like, cool, that's going to grow. I'm going to expand that. I'm going to be even more attracted to him. If everybody else thinks that he's high quality, they're probably right. It's the same reason I look at IMDb before I watch a movie. I look at Goodreads before I order a book, or I look at Google reviews before I eat at a restaurant. It's useful to know what other people are saying about the quality of this. But it's more than that for women, because it's not just about quality and protecting against a bad experience. It's also about safety. If a man is surrounded by women, there's lots of women who are interested in him, he has lots of platonic friendships with women, his close relationship with his sisters, and they all seem to love him, then that's proof that this guy is safe. He's not a dangerous person to be around women. That's huge for women. They're going to notice that. But a guy who has no women around him, no, female interest, no platonic friends, no close relationships, he's just a guy surrounded by men. No women seem to be in his orbit. Now, it's possible that that guy is a total gentleman and there's no danger, but can you see how it's more of a risk? It's why the old school pickup artists used to bring their female friends with them when they went out to the club, because, we're out on the dance floor or just walking walking around, when women see this guy is with like an attractive woman and she likes him, she's laughing, she seems safe, it sends that signal to all the other women like, hey, this guy's okay. He's not like just a single predatory kind of man. Like, no, look, one of my fellow women is vouching for him. It's all good. I always remember back when I was doing street interviews for this channel, how much more success I would experience when I brought my female partner with me to do interviews. I'd occasionally go out to the beach or the street or whatever by myself. I'd approach women and I had like a 50% success rate. Like about half women say, oh yeah, sure, I'll do an interview. But when my partner was with me and I'd approach people and they'd see, it's like, hey, we're a man-woman team and we're smiling, we've got a good rapport with each other. They can see that. It went up to like 80%. The only women who said no would, in a hurry, they had something else to do or whatever. But largely when women saw, like, no, this guy's safe, got a woman with him, the woman vouches for him, then they become more comfortable, more relaxed. Do not estimate the power of pre-selection. Women care a lot about what other women think. And one of the most fascinating ways that you can see this principle manifest is how a woman responds when her ex-boyfriend moves on and another woman suddenly finds value with him.
Y'all, men are trash. I literally just found out that this guy I hooked up with like a few times many years ago is now in a relationship. Like, I'm gonna message his girl.
Now that she finds out that another woman likes him and is in a relationship with him, she's clearly jealous. She wants him back. Would not be the first time something like this happened. We saw a lot of examples of this in my course. When a woman does not value a man, thinks he's low quality and so dumps him, only for him to move on, be valued by a different woman, and now suddenly she needs him back. For some unexplained reason, she finds him way more attractive. Why? He's the same person. The only difference is that now another woman wants him. And oh boy, is that powerful. Some of you guys in relationships may have experienced this, that if you're in a social setting with your girlfriend, but the two of you get separated and like an attractive woman starts speaking to you, for the rest of your night, your girlfriend is like hanging on your arm, laughing at all your jokes. You have passionate sex that night. The effect of her seeing that other women find you attractive and valuable just skyrockets her own attraction. It reignites her passion, reminds her why you're so incredible.